Welcome to Return to Athens. This week we light up the torch relay. The velodrome roof has a moving ceremony. And more on our series, Countries in Profile. All that and more as we return to Athens. Firstly, the Olympic flame presently holds court at the Panathinaikos Stadium, site of the first modern Olympic Games. Security for spectators to the historic event was at its highest level, a prelude to what you can expect when attending the Games in August. Once the throngs of people cleared the security net, along with an air of anticipation at witnessing the once-in-a-lifetime event, there was an outpouring of national pride. Even awaiting officials appeared to be excited and anxious for the Flames' arrival. Cheering crowds welcomed the flame, which was lit on March 25 in ancient Olympia, home of the first Olympics in 776 BC. Since then, the flame had travelled around Greece and was brought to Athens by helicopter from the island of Aegina. Greece's Olympic 100-metre silver medalist Katerina Tanou brought the flame to its temporary resting place, along with being given the honour of igniting the sacred cauldron.
Citizens of Athens, citizens of the world, as the Olympic flame enters the venerable stadium, Athens sends you a message of peace, the message of fierce yet harmless competition.
In commemoration of its ancient roots, performers dressed as acolytes held a ceremony around the cauldron as it was lit. The flame will remain in Athens until June 4 before starting an international tour, the first global tour in the flame's history covering the 5 continents represented by the Olympic rings. The brief snuffing out of the torch by the fierce wind during the ceremony did not dampen the enthusiasm of the crowd, who cheered as the flame was raised in the air after having to be relit.
The torch relay, ladies and gentlemen, is the best sign yet that a unique Olympic homecoming is coming this year. As to complete this ceremony, will begin a special season for Greece.
The first modern relay took place in Nazi Germany, introduced at the Berlin Games of 1936. It took runners 11 days to reach Berlin from Greece, carrying a torch that was manufactured by a munitions company. The torch relay has a rich history. For the 1960 Rome Games, the flame followed a route in homage to ancient civilisations. In Mexico City, 1968, the flame followed the route taken by Christopher Columbus. And at the 92 Games in Barcelona, Paralympic archery medalist Antonio Rebolo lit the flame in the stadium with a burning arrow. In a moving ceremony, Athens' troubled venue preparations got a slight boost as the roof structure for the cycling velodrome successfully moved into place. The roof was shifted 135 metres from its construction site and neatly slid into place over the 5,000-seater track cycling venue. Velodrome site manager Apostolos Kotsaris explained the process, which saw the 4 legs of the 4,000-tonne structure placed onto hydraulic machinery and moved into its final position over the velodrome.
It was locking in a precamber location, a little bit far away from the velodrome, exact 135 metres away, because we don't want to destroy the whole velodrome. So we make it aside and we transfer it 135 metres. It was moving something approximately, because it was a little bit, it was not a stable speed, but as an average speed it was something like 8 meters per hour.
The velodrome, built in 1991, continues to undergo renovation in readiness for the start of the Games. Despite the relative success of the velodrome's preparations, there remain serious doubts over whether all the venues, in particular the main stadium, will be totally complete. The roof of the velodrome still requires glass panels and is similar in design to the main Olympic Stadium's roof that also needs to be moved into place. The architect responsible for the designs was delighted with the workers who oversaw the velodrome roof move, a small success that gave Games preparations a small boost.
And I was congratulating the people of Mecca. They have done a great job, great job. I'm very proud of them. And also Greece should be proud of them. You know, they are great people.
Nevertheless, the success fails to conceal the pressure to finish the main stadium's roof, which must be moved into place by the end of April to meet construction deadlines. As if the International Olympic Committee and the beleaguered organising committee didn't have enough worries. The preparations faced a further setback recently as the country's largest labour union declared a day-long nationwide strike. Thousands of protesters took to the streets of the capital, where all public transport was halted, demanding an 8% pay increase. With efforts to complete all the facilities in time for the Games hard-pressed after years of apathy, another unforeseen disruption doesn't help. The government has already had to scale back projects and speed up others. A change in government on March the 7th, when Premier Kostas Karamanlis Conservatives ousted the Socialists from power after 11 years, has led to more upheaval and policy changes. Since then, Karamanlis has taken personal charge of the Olympics. This striker outlining what grievances the workers and unions were demonstrating against.
I am participating because the daily wage here is very low and it must definitely go up. And not only is insurance an issue, the age limit for retirement must drop. And that's it.
The workers made their way past the Greek Parliament building in a show of solidarity, and as an Olympic flag billowed, Athens traffic drove past the half-constructed railway lines that are supposed to transport hundreds of thousands of spectators.
Apparently it's a one-day strike. The contractors said they would compensate through Saturday, Sunday and extra work. So I don't think one day will affect the preparation in Norway.
Oswald then went on to inspect the velodrome roof. Workers managed in 2 days to manoeuvre the 4,000-tonne roof into position over the oval-shaped stadium by pushing it along 2 tracks. Oswald then proudly showed Marton Simitsek, the Athens Organising Committee executive, around the construction sites of the Olympic Stadium and velodrome before speaking in glowing terms about the roof.
I'm sure that you are as impressed as I am when you look at this wonderful roof. I think it's a very important step forward in the preparation of the Games. It's a demonstration that the projects are all feasible and that the velodrome will be a wonderful facilities for the athletes. We have no doubt that this one will be ready on time, and the fact that the challenge has been mastered in such a fantastic way is a big encouragement for the other roof.
As Oswald undertook his tour, he was joined by Prince Albert of Monaco, taking his own private tour of the site after being in Athens to take part in the flame relay. Time now on Return to Athens to take a break from the words, delays, construction and deadlines as we bring you the official music video for the torch relay. Called Pass the Flame, Unite the World, it's sung by popular Greek singer Yanos Koutsiris with a little help from performers around the globe. So sit back and enjoy.
Pass the flame, unite the world. It's a time to celebrate, let our voices be heard. Pass the flame, Past the flame, unite the world. It's a time to celebrate, let our voices be heard. Past the flame, unite the world. Bring us all together. Past the flame, unite the world, unite the world. Holy light, unite the world. Past the flame, unite the world. Past the flame, unite the world. Unite the world. Unite the world. Unite the world.
To news outside the Olympic City, and Iraq's civil administrator announced new funding for the continued growth of Olympic sport. While this looked like a security training exercise, the news he delivered was a massive boost to Iraqi athletes.
The United States is proud of its contribution to the revival of Iraqi sports. We are contributing $10 million to the Iraqi National Olympic Committee, and I'm very pleased to announce today here that we are contributing another $3 million to the refurbishment of Al Saab Olympic Stadium.
Flanked by armed bodyguards, Bremer congratulated Iraqi athletes on the new dawn of sport. He then unveiled the country's Olympic logo along with senior Iraqi sports officials. They included President of the Iraqi Olympic Committee, Ahmed Al-Samari, along with Raad Abis Rashid from Taekwondo, the first Iraqi to qualify for the Games, and Ala Hikmat, who will compete on the track in the 100 and 200 metres. Coming up shortly, we take a look at another Iraqi who'll march proudly into the main stadium under his country's flag. The logo, designed in cooperation with the IOC, features a green silhouette of a date palm tree, encircled by a wreath of palm leaves. Inside the circle, the Olympic rings. Last February, the IOC voted unanimously to lift Iraq's game suspension and welcome back the country to the Olympic family of 201 nations. Whilst the funding boost will go a long way to upgrading Iraq's sports facilities in the future, today this humble track and field venue is home to an Olympic hopeful. Track athlete Ala Hussein is the Iraqi 400 and 1500 metres champion and is in training for August. After the end of hostilities, he won Iraq's national championship, qualifying for the Games. He's confident of competing with moderate success, but recognises the immense disadvantages faced by Iraqis preparing for the Games in the wake of last year's war. The Iraqi National Olympic Committee was once part of the fallen regime's apparatus of fear and run by the former dictator's son with an iron fist. The US-led administration dissolved the old Iraqi National Olympic Committee. A new body was elected earlier this year under the supervision of the International Olympic Committee. Hussein will represent his nation at the main stadium and is determined to make a name for himself in the war-torn country. However, the continuing unstable security situation is affecting his training for the international contest.
We stopped our training because of the war. Then, after about 2 months, we resumed our training. Now I have nominated to participate at the Olympics in Athens, and also today I won the local Iraqi championships.
How do the hostilities disrupt your training program?
The security situation has an impact of my training program because I live in Dawanya, which is in southern Iraq. And of course, I have to train in Baghdad. The other day, rockets landed in the Bayya area while we were just sitting around waiting to train.
Nevertheless, Salah Hussein remains a realist, saying Iraqis were unlikely to win anything except respect in Athens. Therefore, who is likely to take the gold medal in the 1500-metre event? Our medal predictor can't ignore Moroccan Hisham El Garouj for the gold. The silver medal will be a closely fought contest between two Kenyans, Bernard Lagat ahead of Cornelius Churcher. To see all the track and field action, you'll need to book seats at the main stadium on any one of the final 9 days of the competition. Athletics is one of the blue ribbon events, so prime seats cost up to €300. However, there is budget seating available from only €10. We continue our Country in Profile series now, and this week it's the nation of Cuba. Cuba is renowned for her domination of one sport, the sport of boxing. The names Teofilo Stevenson and Felix Savon have brought Cuba's boxing record to the forefront of Olympic competition. Between them, they have 6 gold medals. Stevenson is one of the only boxers in Games history to win 3 consecutive gold medals, 72, 76 and 80. Savon from 1992 to 2000. He was a 6-time world champion during his career, throwing in the towel on his fighting days in 2001. So look out for the Cubans in the ring. Indoor volleyball was first contested at Olympic level at the 1964 Tokyo Games, with the Cubans having been highly successful, taking gold medal after gold medal. Testament to their strength in the sport rests in the hands of the Cuban women's team. They are triple Olympic champions. They won their first gold in 1992 and backed up the world-beating form in 96 and 2000. In Sydney, they were pushed all the way to 5 sets by a courageous Russian outfit, finally wearing them down 3 sets to 2. Having multiple world titles and again sealing qualification for Athens, the Cuban women are looking for their 4th Olympic title. When you think of Olympic baseball, it's very hard not to think of Cuba. Baseball was contested as a medal sport in 1992. Before that, it was a demonstration sport on 7 occasions. Out of the 3 previous Olympic competitions, Cuba has won 2 of them. In Barcelona, it was victory over Chinese Taipei that sealed their Olympic fate, and 4 years later in Atlanta, they defended their title with an impressive showing over Japan in the gold medal match. Renowned for powerful hitting and big game performances from their star players, the Cubans will be looking for an impressive showing at the Olympic baseball venue. Having lost their title in 2000 to the USA 4-0, revenge is on their mind. With a strong squad and characteristic flamboyance, they may have what it takes to regain top spot on the podium. The Cubans are eager to have that gold medal draped around their necks for the third time. With such an amazing string of success as a baseball, volleyball and boxing nation, Cuba's Olympic team has a lot to emulate in Athens. Look out for them. They could also have some champions in other sports. Finally this week, a story that says you're never too old to compete. 47-year-old mother of four, Shane Gould, recently lined up against some of Australia's best young butterfly swimmers at the Australian Olympic qualifying meet. Gould, who took the swimming world by storm as a 15-year-old at the 1972 Munich Olympics, was hoping to qualify for the semi-finals of the 50 metres butterfly event. As a fresh-faced teenager, Gould won 3 gold medals, a silver and a bronze at the 72 Games. Back in the limelight, however, Gould could not match the pace set by her fellow competitors. But for the woman who once held all the freestyle world records from 100 metres to the 1500 at the age of 16, the dream is not over. She's vowed to return to the championships next year to continue her quest for success, 33 years after claiming 3 Olympic golds in her one and only Games.
Yeah, I would have liked to have done something, spectacular with a captive audience. Bit of a show pony, I think, sometimes.
So, as August looms, remember to keep watching Return to Athens as we bring you the latest in the behind-the-scenes news and views in the lead-up to Athens 2004.